life is tearing me apart. This life is tearing me apart. Remember when I was with you? Love was all we really knew. I saw the beauty in this world all around me. And I tried to understand. You know, I've done the best I can. I miss the love that once was there to guide me. This life is tearing me apart. This life is tearing me apart. I didn't know it was nothing from the start. After all we've been through, where are you? So now it's over, gone so fast. Still all these pictures of my past. I thought that love was meant to last forever. This life is tearing me apart. This life is tearing me apart. Should've known we'd never get that far. After all we've been through. Falling down the way it used to be in the beginning. Falling down, no matter how many times you are forgiven. Falling down. This life is tearing me apart. This life is tearing me apart. This life, this life, this life.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monty Nefaro, produced out of Indie Music TV. And it's Thursday.
It is.
At the board is our super producer, Matty Ice. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
All right. You said you were feeling a little under the weather?
Yeah, I was earlier this week. I got a COVID test. I was feeling down. No.
Feeling
nothing,
down
so-
and out? And you said,
No, I'm feeling great now.
Now you
so-
feel great.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, you know when you go from low energy to high energy?
Look at you. Holy rebound, Batman. Okay,
Yeah.
so what was it? Just some kind of bug? What the hell was it?
I don't know.
Oh, all right.
I want
All right.
to thank all the fans for joining us. 802 Blues,
802.
Albister, Chris Lee, Chris Patty, Maria Davis.
Maria.
Oh, what else we got? We got Rick B in the house.
Rick
We got
B.
the Fat Boston Well. ESO Creative, by the way, ESO, one of our new sponsors on the show. We want to welcome
Yeah.
them aboard.
Yeah.
ESO making some of your best
Can
T-shirts.
we get the full tag? That was the Fat Boston Whales empty bank account, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I just wanted to make sure. It's a great tag. It's hilarious. Next.
Sting is 10. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Stiga.
So, anyway, with everything that was going on with Mr. Cena, and then we had Mike Messier in the
Yes,
house.
sir.
We didn't get a chance to recognize the 13 U.S. soldiers who lost their lives in the Kabul attacks while saving Afghans.
Oh, boy.
So I thought it was important, or we thought it was important, that we recognize these heroes. So if you could all just appease me out there, our own Jimmy Farrow is, by the way, the star of the show. Jimmy,
Hi.
welcome, buddy. How are you?
Good. What's
Will
up?
just name the names of the people who passed away, their age, and their service.
So young. So young. Maxton Soviak, 22. He served in the Navy. David Lee Espinoza, only 20 years old, served in the Marines. Riley McCullum, also only 20 years old, Marine. Jared Schmitz, 20 years old, Marines. Kareem Nakoi, 20 years old, Marines. Hunter Lopez, 22, Marines. Darren Taylor Hoover Jr., 31 years old, Marine Corps. Dagan Page, 23, Marines. Nicole G., 23 years old, Marines. Dylan Marola, again, another 20-year-old, Marines. Umberto Sanchez, 22, from the Marines. Yohani Rosario Pichardo, 25 years old, United States Marine Corps. And finally, Ryan Knaus, 23 years old, proud member of the United States Army. Wow.
Our prayers are with you and your families.
Too young, man. Oh, my God. The list is just... Everybody's so young.
All right, guys. Thank you for appeasing us on that. So, some news out there: superhuman immunity
What?
against COVID-19. It's called superhuman immunity. Superhuman immunity applies to people who were exposed to COVID-19 back in 2020 and then got fully vaccinated. Researchers found that had amped up protection and antibodies to fight the virus. Researchers found over studies of the last years, those who got COVID, recovered, and were later vaccinated developed a strong immune response to the virus.
Okay. Logical.
See what else we got here. Here's the deal, people. Really, basically, is this: if you've caught COVID, you have the antibodies. I don't know how they know. How they know that taking a vaccine boosts your immune system. I do know this: if you have caught COVID, you do have antibodies. Antibodies are what your body makes to destroy the
Invaders,
virus or the
right.
flu or the common cold
Sure.
or anything else. Maria Davis, thank you so much. Maria, proud member of Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. We are blessed to have you on every week.
For sure.
Thoughts on the superhuman COVID?
Well, I can only speak from my own experience. When the whole thing got started, the paranoia went into overdrive. I didn't change anything. I lived my life. I still haven't changed anything. I live my life. I don't go out of my way to put myself in potentially dangerous situations, but I certainly am not afraid to leave the house. I've seen some people who are that way. And if that's the way they are, fine, but don't bother me with your paranoia, okay? I've had it a couple of times where I've seen people in public like, that person's too close to me! What the hell did you leave your house for? What are you talking about? Calm the hell down. Well, what was weird with me is that recently I found myself having to get the 2 COVID shots. The first shot, little soreness, okay, fine. Now, I was totally against doing this, but it's not my thing. I didn't want to do it, but I felt, okay, it's necessary. I got to get it done. I'll get it done. The first one was okay, a little soreness. The second one beat the living tar out of me, and I thought to myself, what the hell do I have to go through this for? I felt fine for the last 2 years.
Right.
Now I feel the worst I've felt in years, you know?
Right.
I got over it, but, it's very new, the whole getting the shots and all of this stuff, and there's a lot of gray area. I don't really know where it all falls in. If they start making this like you got to get it every year and all of this other crap, now it's feeling like a scam. It already feels like a scam.
Just signed today, President Biden signed an executive order.
Oh, yeah?
That any companies over 100 people,
yeah,
it's mandatory to be vaccinated.
Oh, nice. They're reeling them in.
So,
yeah, how do you feel about that?
How do I feel? I feel
like
that
a bit of a scam.
I feel that COVID is real.
I don't think it isn't.
I feel that if they feel that you should be vaccinated to protect yourself and others, it's probably a good idea. The issue I have, if you were unfortunate enough to catch COVID like myself,
right,
your body
survived
it and has already built the protection that the vaccine gives you.
Can you say chicken pox? When you get
Thank
chicken
you.
pox,
how often do you get that vaccine?
You don't get it again after
Thank
you get
you.
it. Boy, did I have chicken pox.
So
never got
this
it
worries me that there's an alternative agenda out there.
Yeah.
It's very worrisome.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, let's talk a little professional wrestling. If you didn't know it, you are watching Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. This is Monty Nefaro, and my own partner, Mr. Jimmy Farrow, leads the band that sings the theme song for Monty Nefaro, along with his partner, Bart Griggs, make up the band Wisteria Hall. Wisteria Hall has their own YouTube channel. We ask you to please go there, give it a like, give it a subscribe, show the boys a little support.
Come on.
They write some of the best damn music out there.
Yeah.
Some of the songs, In My Dreams, This Life, which was the opening song in respect to the departed heroes in Afghanistan. Not Far Behind, Here Comes the Rain. You could find their music also on Spotify, Apple Music, and download it in Reverb Nation.
There you go.
You are watching Monty Nefaro. You can catch Monty Nefaro on the Monty Nefaro YouTube page, the Monty Nefaro Facebook Live page. Hear us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor. Watch us on the Monty Nefaro Twitch TV page. And if you're lucky enough to live in New York, channel 115 every Tuesday from 7 to 7:30. I told Jimmy the other day, due to our popularity, they have moved us to 9:30 starting in October.
Okay.
I don't know how you feel about that, Jimmy, but they said it was a better move for their programming.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
My thoughts is that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Let's keep it clean.
And channel 115 on Saturday from 6 a.m. to 6:30, and for our late night dwellers in New York, channel 20 from 2 a.m. to 2:30.
Nice.
We'll be right back with this upcoming episode after this quick commercial break.
We shall return. ESO Creative, custom apparel, graphics, and more. Call 845-772-2464. That's 845-772-2464. ESOcreative.com. Want to know where to go? ESO.
Wrestling fans, now you too can look as cool as Monty and the Pharaoh by wearing the official Monty and the Pharaoh sunglasses at night for $8.99 each. That's only $8.99 each. Now available at montyandthepharaoh.com.
That's right, folks. Canine Corral for all your dog daycare and overnight care. Call 631-549-1544. That's 631-549-1544.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty and the Pharaoh, produced out of Indie Music TV out of Long Island, New York. News this week, Paul Triple H Levesque is recovering after undergoing a heart procedure last week. Triple H underwent a successful procedure last week at Yale New Haven Hospital following a cardiac event. This episode was caused by a genetic heart issue, and Paul is expected to make a full recovery. Farrell?
Damn. You know what? You can answer this, unfortunately. With a guy that has a physique like Triple H, and he has a, what did they call it? A cardiac event.
Yeah.
Boy, it's that vague. I really don't know what that means other than something with the heart, obviously, but what? When you're a big dude and you lift weights all the time, I mean, how scary is this? I mean, how is he supposed to get back to...
It's not easy.
It's got to be
not easy.
difficult. Do you think he got it from
Well,
exercise?
I said to my wife, I'm going, well, here he is, keeps himself in this great shape. And my wife said, look, Mike, come on, stop. The guy's been juicing and gassing since his early 20s.
I would say so.
And she's right, because the heart is a muscle.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that a lot of these wrestlers
Can't be too happy that
have
muscle.
a very enlarged heart,
Yeah.
right? Because just like their enlarged biceps and pectoral muscles and their ankles and their legs, their heart is probably enlarged.
Boy, oh boy.
And
this man's not even...
look,
50.
and this is a guy who took care of himself, right? He didn't do drugs, he doesn't drink, he doesn't do any of that stuff.
Really?
That's
I wonder.
from everything I've heard.
Okay, that's cool. He never partied back in the day with the clique. He never had a crazy night out. I bet you he probably did. He probably changed a lot of his ways once he started dating Stephanie and realized I'm going to be a McMahon. Or in the McMahon family,
By the way, people are asking, Albister Figueroa says, I don't understand how they can legally force companies to make them have their employees vaccinated.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up. But the president has made a proclamation, hasn't
Well,
he?
I will tell you this.
Oh, boy.
Farrell, you told me off air that you heard Sasha Banks could be pregnant.
Yeah.
I heard that she wasn't vaccinated, and it was the WWE's policy to be vaccinated, and she wasn't vaccinated. So,
is that the WWE's policy? Because that doesn't seem like Vince. Doesn't seem like something Vince would be like behind, like, all right, everybody, go get your shots. I'm not so sure. That doesn't feel like Vince.
Or you're fired.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like Vince. Not to make a joke of this, but I kept thinking to myself, when Triple H underwent the procedure, was there any chance his theme music hit and the doctor came in? Time to cut the game!
Oh, God. That's
It's just something I think about. I'm burnt. Farrell with the Coke. Too much Coke.
That is kind of. That is
I don't
kind
do
of
Coke, but too much Coke.
Do you think the doctor comes out to his own theme music?
It's time to slice the game, and how you cut them. It's time to, who knows? Who the fuck knows? I thought it was funny. I think he's going to be fine. I love Triple H. I'm a big fan of him, and I hope he's doing well. But I am worried about him. How's he going to continue to? What
Phil Descare says out there's been a rash of bodybuilders in his age group that have passed this past month.
Not surprised.
Keith Rock says Vince has been poisoning Triple H.
NXT sucks, and you screwed up Raw, and now everybody's over at AEW. Have another meatloaf. What's he doing? What's he putting in it? Thumbtacks? I'll put thumbtacks in the meatloaf.
Phil just topped you. He said after Triple H woke up from anesthesia, he spit water out of his mouth.
This is...
Oh, my God.
Boy. You and I, Phil, we're in big trouble going down. Anyway.
In more news, whiny-ass Mick Foley had to chime in on why he felt the need to release WWE We Have a Problem video.
Whiny-ass Mick Foley.
Yeah, sure. Because he's a whiny ass.
I bet you he's about to say something intelligent. Go ahead. Tell everybody.
He was on Pro Wrestling for Life with Sean Waltman. And he tried to explain why he felt there was a problem.
Okay.
The only deal I have with the WWE is a Legends deal, Foley noted.
Right.
They do pay people to be consultants, And if I was being paid to be a consultant, I would say the WWE, we have a problem.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I want to say this, Mick Foley. The first problem is your son's a writer. So why don't they fire him, Dewey?
Is Dewey writing Raw?
I don't know what Dewey's doing, but since
if
Dewey joined the team, Dewey do wrong.
Yeah, if Dewey's writing Raw, Dewey be fired.
But, thank you.
Dewey be fired.
Why isn't Foley making videos? Dewey be fired?
Yeah, man. Well, what do you expect him to? He's not going to do that.
And he goes on to say, I'm just putting myself in a place of a top-tier superstar who has a decision to make.
Right.
And I would look at how AEW has treated their recent acquisitions, and I would compare it to how the WWE has treated a few of their recent in development talent. And I would say, I don't know if I'd want to gamble to such an extent, and I'm willing to have everything I've done watered down and made a joke of.
Says a guy who went from Cactus Jack to putting a sock down people's throats.
Thank you.
Socko.
Making
a joke. Well, it depends if the joke
802
is funny.
says Dewey Decimal.
Dewey Decimal point.
Do you think Foley's like, Dewey, you done wrong tonight?
You know what I would do with
Did you
Dewey?
write that?
You know what I would do with Dewey since he's into decimal points? I would give him pi 3.14 and ask him to figure it out. As we know, pi goes in infinite. You could lock him in a room and he'll never come back.
He'll never come out.
And he'll never write another script because he'd be trying to get the end result of pi.
It's pretty smart,
I
dude.
think that would be the way to go.
That's pretty smart.
Why not?
I still can't get the envisionment of Triple H waking up, spinning water in the doctor's face.
Good. That is. With the big broom. It's time to play the game. That would be great.
But on a serious note,
yeah.
do you agree with Mick Foley? WWE, do we have a problem? I mean, look, let's play fair here.
Yeah.
Again,
Let's play fair.
we discussed this. If I'm a wrestler and I've made my money already, why not go to AEW? Work once a week?
Maybe twice.
Make a couple of $1 million?
They do
Maybe
have 2 shows
twice?
now.
No, but that's recorded in the same time.
This is true.
Right? So
Wow.
so maybe a pay-per-view.
Okay.
Or work for the WWE machine.
Right.
Which the WWE, by the way, infinite money if you do well.
Right.
AEW, not infinite money. Let's get
Sure.
realistic here.
Sure.
So, what do?
Well, I got to admit, I do understand what Mick Foley's getting at. I don't think that this was a dumb comment. I kind of agree with it, especially, and for you folks who tune in tomorrow night for This Week in Wrestling, you'll hear my spiel, which is on before SmackDown Friday nights. I got a huge problem with some of the things. Like, they wanted to make Adam Cole a manager. What are you doing? Get the fuck out of here. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay? Shinsuke Nakamura, while I am enjoying Rick Boogs, I'm enjoying it. I love it. I think it's great. Shinsuke Nakamura in New Japan was a bad mofo. Here, he's
It's character.
He's a character. He's just goofing around, and I understand. I get it. But Mick Foley's probably not the best guy to go, oh, you're making a joke of this, especially when you had Dude Love, who was a joke, okay, and you have Mr. Sacco, that's a joke.
And by the way,
Mick Foley, but you got to be. It depends on the joke. If you got a good joke and your angle is funny and it works, like Foley's did, then it works. But he does have a point. Some of these guys have not been turned into anything.
I have a
so
standard
great.
rule of practice. Never take business advice from a dude that has no teeth.
Wow.
So with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break where we're going to come back with this episode calling Choosing Sides.
Holy Dr. Isaac Yankum. Be right back.
Jimmy, I got to take a dump. What? No. I mean, I need a dumpster.
Well, for all those needs, you need to call Big V Dumpster Rental, Long Island, New York, 631-900-DUMP.
Do you treat your dog as part of the family? Well, so do we. So why not celebrate your pup's birthday with the ultimate party box? Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Party Pup Info, and let us make your pup's party or any celebration perfection.
In the mood for a freshly roasted cup of coffee? www.offtherailscoffeeroasters.com. All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, produced out of the great indie music TV in Long Island, New York. Stinger out says Dewey is doing doo-doo. And that he is. Good job, Dewey.
For his bunghole?
All right, so this is where it gets a little dicey. The fans are all weighing in, what side they're on, right? The AEW side, and it's interesting.
Okay.
People always choose sides. I mean, this is the way we've always been, and we do it in sports. And
Iron Maiden or Judas Priest?
There you go.
Come on.
Partridge Family or
Brady Bunch?
Brady Bunch.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you.
That's rough. Go on.
All right, so CM Punk was quoted, "To me, what's happening in AEW is bigger than the NWO invading WCW." CM Punk believes that the Impact names like himself, Daniel Bryan, and Adam Cole have created AEW bigger than several top WWE superstars that moved to WCW in the 90s. Thoughts?
That's ridiculous. Get the F out of here. Bigger than the NWO, huh? Bigger than when Scott Hall invaded Nitro, huh? Bigger than Kevin Nash and slamming Bischoff through it. Are you kidding me? The NWO. You're ready to proclaim that already, huh, CM Punk? And you know how I love my CM Punk, but sorry, CM Punk, this is not bigger than the NWO. Calm the F down, and can we let history play itself out before we make such ridiculous comments? Because right now, to make it right now is really ridiculous.
Well, Todd D. Beecalf has already drawn a line. He's already announced who he's chosen.
Okay.
He has chosen Judas Priest.
Yeah.
He's chosen the Brady Bunch.
Interesting. I'm halfway with him.
And AEW.
I'm only a third with him.
All right, keep going, bro.
But what are you going to do? No, I just think it's just ridiculous. I don't think that it's even in the hemisphere as far as the NWO impact and all the things that led to the rating, the monstrous ratings. Can we get real? The numbers that were going on between, Stone Cold and Hogan and Goldberg and
different times. Be fair. People aren't
stop.
watching TV. What they did,
No,
you have
they're
the internet
not.
and everything else. But
This
to
is
compare
awesome
to
what's
10
happening now,
to 10 million people
No.
watching both
No.
programs to
No. What's happening over there right now does it compare to the late Saturday night's main event?
Oh, my
time
God.
With Andre and DiBiase and Savage and Hogan. Stop. Calm down. It's awesome what's
Stinger
happening.
says Punk sounds
calm down.
like that goof Meltzer now. Punk is getting a little stupid in his
I
comments,
agree with
right?
I agree with Meltzer the goof. I absolutely agree with it, and that would be something Meltzer would say. So yes, that's a good comment. I agree with that.
By the way, you saw Raw this week.
Yeah.
What was
liked it.
what was
It
the
was okay.
I want to ask you if you caught
not
on
bad.
to it. What did you like about Raw the most this week?
Well, I do like I think that should be obvious. Randy getting a shot against Lashley. I love that. And I loved how Randy's like, I don't think you and I have scrapped in like 15 years. I remember you in the beginning, and I always wondered what it would be like to get my hands on you again. I love the RKO he hit him with. I'm into that. I'm actually into that. I want to see Randy Orton versus Bobby Lashley. Why the fuck not?
Can I tell you what I liked?
Pardon my French.
What I liked
Or was it
for the
Spanish?
tag team turmoil?
Yeah.
They did these clips like Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, yeah.
They had that Saturday night main event where the guys would just say a few things and it would cut to the other guy that they were wrestling.
You know what was weird? It was enjoyable, the tag team turmoil over the course of the night, but you know what was very apparent? That tag team division stinks. Look at some of the teams they wrote out there. Mansoor.
Right.
And Mustafa, I wish I was Muhammad Ali.
That's right.
I mean, are you kidding me? That team stinks.
I hope this isn't true. 802 says out there, I heard Russo is going to be working with the WWE in some sort of...
Let's spell this one out. I actually know.
Oh, you do know.
I know
Please,
a little bit about
talk
this.
to me.
Okay, basically what happened was, and you can't be surprised at it, and I actually understood why he thought this way. Russo, from what I understand, has been reaching out to WWE with everything that's going on, wanting to come back, to maybe infuse a little bit of his deal into the WWE brand. They're not interested. That's what I'm hearing, and it makes sense that they're not interested.
Why would you be? You got Dewey.
Yeah, you know what? Get Russo on the phone right now. I mean, if you're relying on Dewey and his decimal system and his doo-doo...
Dude, I don't want Russo back, dude.
I don't
want
rather
Russo
have
back.
Russo riding than Dewey. Quite
Did
honestly.
Russo really do any writing?
I'm sure he did some. We'll never know the exact amount, and they'll go back and forth as to who did what. But there's a reason why in the late 90s, Vince Russo was such a hot ticket. He did something. He must have done something.
Well, what he did is he recognized that people love Jerry Springer, and he said, let's
He liked
make our
Crash
show
television.
like Jerry Springer.
Right.
But once Jerry Springer became passé...
I never liked Jerry Springer's show, so what do I know?
But once that format became passé...
Right.
All of a sudden, his writing wasn't so good anymore.
No, it wasn't. Boy, oh boy, did he suck in WCW.
That's again...
He put the belt on himself. What the hell are we doing here?
All right, another hot topic. Omega lands first place on the PWI 500, which you love, for the second time. Omega lands first place.
Yeah.
Second year in a row.
Second year in a row.
Can I go through the list?
Yeah, you know
10
what?
to 1?
This list makes me laugh. Can I laugh at this
Yeah,
list?
well, weigh in as I go. Rich Swann, number 10.
Give me a break. He's one of the top 10 best wrestlers in the world. I don't care what calendar you show me. Get lost. Next.
Shingo Takagi? I don't even know that guy.
Takagi. Yeah, I'm aware of him, and no, he's not in the top 10 either. Can I get a Kota Ibushi somewhere out there?
Why does he get number 9?
Because they have their stupid.
Agenda?
You think Meltzer's got an agenda? I don't know who's doing this nowadays, but Bill Apter's probably like, what on earth?
Bill Apter used to do that shit too, by the way. And we called him on it.
Yeah, we called
We
him on
did
it.
call him
But at
on
least
it.
he was doing Nick Bockwinkel over Bob Backlund.
Right.
Rich Swann.
By the way,
Rich Swann. Wait a minute. I don't see. There's so many people I don't see on this list. Rich Swann. Are you serious?
Because you got to give Impact.
You don't got to give
love.
anybody anything. You pick the 10 best wrestlers in the world.
But go back
Imagine
to that
concept.
Apter interview.
Yeah.
So I love that interview. I thought he did a great job.
awesome.
I thought we did a great job.
He's a gentleman.
But when we challenged him
And a scholar.
on that,
Yeah.
he kind of was backpedaling. Am I right? Talk to me on that.
I mean, look, we
Explain
were
to the fans what we were saying.
Well,
to them.
back in the day, they always used to put the WWF a little less. Well, not always, but a lot of the time, a little less than NWA, and sometimes even AWA. And Bill's reasoning was as well, the territories were bigger, yada yada yada. And we were always like, bullshit, man. New York is the epicenter. Stop it. The Madison Square Garden, everybody wants to be the star
But
here.
he used to-
Bruno Sammartino
but-
was on George Plimpton's Wide World of Sports.
He
Not
deni-
Nick
but he
Bockwinkel,
denied this.
not Harley Race,
He denied-
not Lou Thez, Bruno.
He denied this though, and he wasn't telling the truth.
What's that?
There were cases in that top 10 because
Yeah.
it wasn't even. We're not talking about PWI 500 guys. We're talking about the top 10.
Their
list.
monthly top 10.
They're the monthly.
Back in the
Sometimes
day.
they would put guys like Tommy Rich in front of Bob Backlund when Tommy Rich wasn't a
And
champion.
that's laughable. So,
Right.
Yeah, back in those days. I do remember that. Matt, remember the one issue where Tommy won the NWA belt and they just happened to put it out during the 4 days he had it?
Yeah.
That's a miracle when you think about
Absolutely.
it. Tommy with the belt as champion. I'm like, wow. What do you
Finn
know?
Balor, number 8.
All right, I'm not going to argue about Finn Balor,
Will-
but I don't think that he's had a top 10 in the last year to be in the top 10.
Will Ospreay, number 7.
Will Ospreay's effing great. I have nothing bad
I
to
see
say
you right
about,
there.
I have nothing bad to
Number
say about
6,
Will Ospreay. He's
Jon
amazing.
Moxley.
I have nothing bad to say about that either.
Kota Ibushi, you were just calling his name.
Well, that's what
number
I'm
5.
saying. Kota Ibushi, fine, but man, oh man, I can think of like so many others. Kota Ibushi's amazing.
Drew McIntyre, number 4.
Okay, all right,
Bobby Lashley, number 3.
good, fine.
And here's the challenge, guys. Weigh in out there if you can.
Roman over
Roman Reigns, Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Did PWI get this right? They get it wrong.
Wow. This is so difficult. Back in the day, a world champion who went into other areas and held their belts too, we would have been like, this is by far the most dominant wrestler in the world.
Yes.
It's funny how it's changed because, let's face it, those other belts really don't mean that much, the ones that Kenny was holding. I will tip my cap to AAA. I always will do that when it comes to Mexico. I do, recognize that. That's a serious title, being AAA mega champion over in Mexico.
So you agree?
But when he's holding the TNA title, I don't think it really means that much nowadays. I really don't. They have no ratings. I don't even know where the damn show is half the time. People are like, where
Fair
is
enough.
it? The NWA is shriveled, to almost nothing. MLW is another small, modest thing. Ring of Honor, as legendary as they are, I give them so much props. Their title doesn't mean as much as it probably should. This is a tough one for me.
For me, again, I'm a WWE guy. I get it. But when I think of the world champion, the best in the world, the first guy that comes to my mind is Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I understand Omega travels, and I understand Omega's got probably a crazy or a funner schedule.
Sick. Yeah.
But Roman Reigns is the man.
If Roman Reigns wasn't going to be number one this year, when the hell is he going to
Let's play hypothetical.
You know, I mean, as far as his heel run.
But let's
play. They're waiting for next year?
Let's play hypothetical.
Yeah.
I'm Vince. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give the fans what they want. Let's work with AEW a little bit. Let's do a super card. Roman Reigns, Kenny Omega.
Wow.
Does Khan bow down and say Reigns wins the match?
Neither of them will win the match. It's going to be just like it always used to be. Double DQ, double count out.
But I'm going to say
Harley
Vince
Race, Bob
says
Backlund,
Vince
Bob
says the
Backlund,
Khan.
Nick Bockwinkel.
Vince says the Khan. The only way this is going to happen is Reigns beats Omega.
Khan's not doing it.
Wow.
Khan would say, go fuck yourself.
Wow.
He's a multimillionaire, too. He doesn't have to do anything Vince wants. I mean, and I'm not defending that decision, you know. To me, in this past year, I think I would give the edge to Roman Reigns, but that's because of caliber of competition. Always, you know, the WWE champion. By the way, folks, it's getting close. He's going to pass CM Punk soon, and that's on purpose. And that's going to look great, by the way.
I don't think it's done on purpose. I think it's just happening.
It's turning out to be that if you don't let him pass CM Punk, you're making a mistake.
Yeah, that you're right about.
Let him pass it and proclaim it from the top of the hills.
All right, so here's a question for you.
You know?
You're a wrestler.
Yeah.
PWI 500
Kind of
comes
small,
out.
but okay.
PWI 500 comes out. You find yourself at 490. Are you excited?
It's an honor to be on that list. I mean, if I'm just getting
So
started,
you like when
how
he's-
deep into my career am I?
Well, just a wrestler.
If I'm just getting started and I'm on that list,
How
I'm
many
excited.
wrestlers have we met that they've been very high on the list? I mean, not high the good way, high
Yeah.
the back end way. Maybe they won once and they
Right.
take pictures of it, everything else. You
Right.
like that?
That's fine. I think it's an honor to be mentioned in the PWI 500. Maybe more so back in the day. I'm not so sure about now. You know, I'm not so sure about now. I mean, like, there's so much. Everybody's a wrestler now. I mean, we've talked about how easy it is to become a wrestler now. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if
Make it
means
into 500. I don't know.
I think it's cool.
I think it's cool too.
I think it's a cool honor, one way or the other. To be in the top 10, I mean, Rich Swann? How? I guess because he was Impact champion. Whatever. Not to me.
Chris Lee's asking, do you think that Bray is going to AEW?
God, I hope not. I mean, I really hope not.
Heard he
Because,
signed
I mean,
$1
for
million deal but withdrew last minute.
some reason, I feel like Vince is going to bring him back.
Me too.
Yeah, I do.
I do too.
I do. And he's going to help Alexa. That's how we're going to see him again.
Stinger says Omega's overrated.
Understood.
Thanks
Understood.
to Meltzer.
Meltzer is his number one fanboy, that's for sure. I think Kenny Omega is great. To be fair, I remember the first time I saw Kenny Omega was in New Japan. I had not heard him utter a word. He was wearing some sort of mink stole and sunglasses, and his hair at the time was grayish. He had dyed it grayish. I thought right away, who's that guy? He's a star. I thought it right away.
Right.
I didn't. This is not 2020 stuff. I thought it right away. Who's that guy? Push that guy. Then I saw him in the ring. I lost my mind. I think he's amazing. He is the best mat wrestler in the world right now. I believe he is. I think he is the shit. I think he's straight from the cloth of AJ Styles. He's the shit.
All right,
I think he's great.
All right, before we go to break, I'm going to read 3 comments, and we're going to go to break because they're good comments.
Sure.
Jay Bona says, Vince McMahon killed the territories, killed wrestling in the process, brother.
Interesting.
Phil Descare says, Roman coming back from his illness makes him more impressive.
Absolutely.
And Stingers 10 says, the list is for marks. The only thing that matters are the ratings.
I agree. That list is for marks.
With that, we'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with Choosing Sides.
Don't mark out. See you in a second.
The Monty and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite 4-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah. Jeff Quest, graphics design, custom vinyl lettering, and all your art and video needs. 516-317-8204. That's for Jeff Quest, graphic design. And Nitro's Garage for all your automotive needs. Call 646-675-2349. That's 646-675-2349. For all your automotive needs, Nitro's Garage. Ask for Jack.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty Nefaro, seen here out of Indie Music TV. Again, we want to say thank you, everybody. We're so honored for you to join us on a Thursday night. Without you guys, it means nothing. Next week, we want to announce on Thursday, and we'll cover at the end of the show too, is the great Gary Michael Capetta will be with us. It's a crazy 2 days.
Sure
and
is.
then we have DC Drake, and then Abdul the Butcher, and then topping it off with WWE Hall of Famer and ECW great Rob Van Dam.
Whole effing show.
All right, guys. So just to go over the ratings, we had SmackDown did a 2.2 to Rampage's 696,000.
Oh, that's an ass whipping.
So someone needs a little more work.
Quite a bit.
Right.
You could triple
But
their rating, and they'd still fall
good
short
news.
of WWE's
Good
rating
news.
that night.
Last night, they did 1.3 million.
Well done.
Well done.
For AEW Dynamite.
All right, guys, so before we have that hectic weekend next week, we wanted to get another episode of Head to Head in, where we usually put an older wrestler against a younger wrestler, and the Pharaoh will explain the rules. But first, our super producer will play the intro.
Tonight, we are going to witness the most anticipated match in the history of professional wrestling for the heavyweight championship of the world. Are you ready? Wrestling fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, from the capital city of the United States of America, Washington, D.C., ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Tonight.
All right, it's Head to Head, where we have the famous Bob Backlund in studio against Jimmy Pharaoh's top 3 favorite wrestlers. Mr. CM Punk, don't think this wasn't done by design. But first, Mr. Pharaoh will explain the rules of Head to Head.
All right, folks, we go through 5 categories, taking both wrestlers and putting them head to head. Category number 1, mic skills. Do you interest me, or do I have to change the channel, go get a Swanson TV dinner? Do you interest me? Mic skills. Number 2, mat skills. Once again, are you Bret Hart, or are you, give me a lousy wrestler, Mike. Give me anybody.
Give you anybody.
Yeah, like the Great Khali or something.
We'll go with Mustafa Muhammad.
Ooh, yeah, okay. You get the picture, folks? Number 3, overall influence on the industry. Do you agree with CM Punk, or do you think that it's hilarious that he's even comparing him to, what you gonna do, brother? Having an overall influence on the industry, see Mr. Hogan. Category number 4, the back of the baseball card. What have you done? How many belts you've won? Did you ever own the briefcase? Did you ever win the Royal Rumble? Did you ever go over to Wrestle Kingdom and sell that out overseas? What have you done? What's on the back of your baseball card? Number 5, final category, the it factor. When I look at you, do I see something that makes me want to stay engaged? Or are you just drying paint like some lousy podcasts in other states?
There you go.
What are you going to do?
There you go.
So there it is.
Shot fired.
That was not a shot. That was just a comment.
Yeah,
just a
just
comment.
an
It was
evaluation.
a harmless. An evaluation.
All right, so who we got up first, brother?
Well, our first contestant, and I hate you, by the way, for doing this, because you do this all the time. You pick one of my favorite guys. You never pick one of your favorite guys, because you don't want your favorite guy to possibly lose to anyone. You pick one of my favorite guys, and you put him against a legend.
There you go.
So, today,
That's what it's all about.
opponent...
It's kind of in the AEW, WWE realm, though, right? That's why I wanted this, right?
If you say so. You were just looking for trouble and get a rise out of the Pharaoh. Our first contestant.
Farrell was angry today.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed when I saw this. Robert Louis Backlund. You mean Bob Backlund, born August 14th, 1949. Of course, he's retired at the given moment, but you never know. He may come back and put a chicken wing on the Pharaoh again. He is best known for his appearances, obviously, as WWF champion. He wrestled in the first run with them, 76 to 84. Held the belt for almost 6 years. I think it was like 5 years, 8 months and change or something like that. Very long run. And, of course, he returned in the early 90s, shocked the shit out of everybody, and won the belt again, which was just actually surprising as could be. So this is a two-time WWF champion and probably our favorite guest ever in the studio.
Absolutely.
The great, great, great Bob Backlund. His opponent tonight, CM Punk. Now, Mike put his birth name here, but I'm not going to read it. Born October 26, 1978, was CM Punk. By the way, he's born in October, just like the Pharaoh. Another reason for the Pharaoh to like him. Better known by the ring name CM Punk, because I did not mention his aforementioned name. This last sentence means jack shit. Anyway, American professional wrestler, no kidding. Martial arts commentator. I must have missed that one. And we know about the former professional MMA thing that didn't do so well, but let's not get into that. Currently signed to All Elite Wrestling, obviously. He is best known, well, he's known for many things besides the pipe bomb, but he's best known for his 434-day reign, which stands as the 6th longest in title history for the WWE and the longest title reign in over a quarter of a century, this past quarter of a century. The great CM Punk.
All right, let's have it. Let's
right.
open up with mic skills. Farrell, Bob Backlund, or CM Punk.
This one's pretty easy. The mic skills clearly go to CM Punk. Clearly. Not just for the pipe bomb, just for the fact that he's always been a great talker. This is not really that close. This is a blowout, in my opinion, in category number one. Now, that doesn't mean that Bob wasn't great at doing what he did. Bob was a great
Different
face.
character.
You know, when you look back in the old days and he's boring, he's this, he's that. No, he was actually very good at what he did. You know, he was a great face interview. I did love when he got angry a few times. He was excellent when he was angry. Bob Backlund angry is a good interview.
By the way, Davey O.B. says legends are born in October. You're a legend. Look at that. Did you know?
Yeah.
I will say this. Clearly, this is a blowout on this particular item.
I think he's got him on this.
But I want to give Backlund some credit for some very good interviews that I remember.
Sure.
So I don't want, like you said, he was good at some things. He just wasn't CM Punk. So yeah, I'll go with that. So CM Punk takes the first leg of this battle.
Yes, he
in
does.
Mike skills.
How
Number
about-
2 is Matt skills, buddy.
Yeah, why don't you go first on this one?
This to me is
Slam dunk the other way.
a slam dunk the other way.
I think so.
I will say that Phil is a good wrestler.
I don't know who you're talking about.
All right, CM Punk, I
you refer to him as
apologize.
CM Punk. Thank you.
By the way,
He's
Maria
an
Davis says
excellent
Backlund promo is pretty good.
He
Absolutely.
was not bad at all.
Stingers got Punk all the way. Come on,
Okay.
you got to hear this out, Stingers. You can't
Yeah.
just make that decision.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Backlund was a better wrestler.
He was.
His
He was.
matches were better.
I don't know about that.
His storytelling was better in the ring.
I don't know
well,
about that
you're
either.
gonna win. So
Okay.
I'm going to give Matt Skills a blowout to the former two-time world champion Bob Backlund.
Fair enough. I also do give the Matt skills to Bob Backlund. I have several reasons. Besides the obvious, he was a national champion, so obviously the guy was a great wrestler just from scratch, just from the get-go. But also the technical ability in the ring. Bob Backlund was a magician. Amazing, amazing mat wrestler. Without Bob Backlund, I'm not sure if we get some of the guys we got later on. Bob Backlund was tremendous. CM Punk is an excellent in-ring wrestler. Excellent in-ring wrestler. And for his time period, one of the best. Bob Backlund's got him beat. I have to go with Bob Backlund here. So
right,
I
so-
think we got ourselves a draw so far.
So right now, 1-1. Overall influence in the industry, Farrell.
CM Punk. To me, this is not close. The reason why, for the last 10 years, fans have begun to revolt and have followed through, obviously. The reason why so many wrestlers look in the mirror and go, no, I don't have to do this.
By the
I'm
way,
not doing
Stinger
this."
says Bob's matches were boring,
I
but
enjoyed
Maria
them.
Davis says Bob's techniques were better than CM Punk.
Understood.
So I got to disagree with you on the Backlund matches being
They were not
boring.
boring. They were great. A lot
I
of them
think
were
I
great.
think
Watch
Bob got a
Backlund
bad
versus
rap.
Adonis.
Bob Backlund against Playboy Buddy Rose.
That was
Backlund,
great.
I think Backlund got
Morocco.
Backlund didn't have the flair
Right.
that people expected. Go on.
Right.
I didn't mean to interrupt you
No,
on the
that's
CM
fine.
Punk
No,
thing.
Backlund did not have the flair, but I can understand why some people think his matches were boring because they thought he was
So
boring.
let me try
That's
to convince
fine.
you the otherwise on the it factor. Is it
No, that's not
look,
the it factor. We're on the influence. The it factor
the
is
overall
category 5.
influence. I'm sorry.
Overall influence on the industry.
Let me
It's
try.
CM Punk.
So let me ask
The
you.
reason why we have all these wrestlers today doing what they're doing is from CM Punk. The pipe bomb, when he sat down on that stage, it initiated a lot more than freedom of speech. It initiated a wrestler's freedom of thought and taking that thought to action. Everything has changed because of a guy like CM Punk. And we are feeling it today.
Would you
we
say
felt
that?
it this week.
Would you say the non-wrestling fan, if you talked to him in the street,
Yeah.
and said
They know
Bob
who
Backlund,
Punk is over
CM
Bob
Punk?
Backlund.
See, I'm not so. I'm
Oh, they know.
not so sure
no,
about.
they know. They know who Punk is.
The issue I think on this particular is
Influence
this item.
on the industry.
Yeah. So Backlund in his day
Yeah.
had a huge influence on the industry.
I don't agree. I feel that Bob Backlund was carrying the torch for traditional professional wrestling, and Hulk Hogan gave it a leg drop, and that was the end of that. That's how I look at that. Hulk Hogan gave that sucker a leg drop. See ya. Bob Backlund became, and it wasn't fair and it wasn't right, but Bob Backlund became a fart in the wind so fast, and Hulkamania was here. The end.
So
You know.
So I'll play devil's advocate on that. Overall influence in the industry. This is a guy who never main evented a
That was
WrestleMania.
Vince's decision. That wasn't the fans'
okay.
decision. And this is also a guy for the last 7 years that every effing time people chant his name still. This guy had influence on this industry. Bigger than the great Bob Backlund.
Does
the way it goes.
Does your
That's the way it goes.
go 6 months from now?
Yeah,
If the ratings don't change
they will.
and they get worse,
They won't.
but if they do,
Okay.
and right now it doesn't look like he's making much of a difference at this point. It's already slipping.
1.3 on a Wednesday night?
You're coming off a really great pay-per-view. Let's be fair here.
Involving who was the biggest story?
Well, it depends on who you're talking
It's
to.
CM
But
Punk.
it depends on who you're talking
Punk's
to.
return has ignited this thing.
Okay, he's also on Rampage.
Right.
Right? Where it's at 600,000.
And you know what? They were smart to be on 600,000 because who was he going after on that show? So already to be, it was like, all right, Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm like, Powerhouse Hobbs? We went from...
So
I feel that
Jay
Punk's
Bonas
influence
says
is
you
much-
nailed it with the Hogan analogy.
Yeah, it's the truth.
So
it's the way it goes.
I originally was going to go with Backlund on this, but after your Hogan analogy,
Okay.
I'm going to go with Punk. So we're both in agreement. 2-1 Punk. Back of the baseball card.
This one
You better not.
Well, you
better
can
not.
better not me all you want, but
Not.
it goes something like this. There are only in 60 years of the WWE, there are only 19 Grand Slam champions. CM Punk is one of them. He has held the world title for the longest reign in the last quarter century. His reign back in those days would have been 5 years. It equates that way because in his day, Punk's time as champion, no one's holding the belt for 434 days. They're not even holding it for 43. But not him. Not him. He held it for 434 days, week after week after week after week. The only reason he didn't get a main event WrestleMania is because Hunter is a dick. That's why he didn't get it. It was personal. It's got nothing to do with him not getting the main event at WrestleMania because he deserved it. He did. He didn't get it because there was dick factor involved. Okay? As far as that goes. Now, Punk has held the world title, as I said, record-breaking, quarter of a century, longest thing. Intercontinental champion, United States champion, tag team champion, ECW world champion, Ring of Honor world champion. This guy's going to be AEW world champion soon, at some point. What more do you want from the guy? However, this is where I must defend Bob Backlund. I must. 5 years, 8 months.
Second longest reigning
Second
champion.
longest reign in the history of the company. This is where I hate doing this, but I'm going to do it. This is a draw. To me, this is a draw. I will not go against the guy who's won the Grand Slam and had the longest reign in 25 years, nor will I go against the guy who's got the second longest reign after Bruno Sammartino. I can't do it. I think it's even. And that says so much for Bob Backlund's reign.
I think that almost goes back to when we put Chris Jericho against Bruno Sammartino.
Right.
But the back of the baseball card,
Right.
I believe that we chose Jericho, now the most intercontinental titles in history ever.
Yeah, we chose Bruno.
Right, we chose Bruno.
Because Bruno had almost 12 years as champion during his 2 reigns. Bob had 5 years, 8 months. The second reign lasted 3 days.
I'm going to go with the 5 years, 8 months
know.
over all of the accolades that CM Punk has back of the baseball card. Okay. Different time, right? Different era. Right. Get it? I don't want to punish Punk for that. But on the other hand, let's remember, 5.5 years selling out Madison Square. I don't care what anyone says, bullshit. You know, the guy didn't sell out.
Bullshit to that.
Right.
Yeah, Bob Backlund was great. We know that. I have to give it a draw out of respect to both of them. I think that both are incredibly impressive during their eras.
All right, so we still got 2-1-1.
Yeah, we got
right,
2-1-1.
and then we got 2-2.
Right.
All right, the It Factor.
Punk. That's not even close. That's not even close. Punk's It Factor is just like Jericho. Punk's It Factor is just like any superstar out there. CM Punk has a huge It Factor. Bob Backlund was Bob Backlund. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to It Factor, I'm sorry. This is not a contest, this particular category. I hope you feel the same way on that one. I know you're not the biggest Punk fan, but this is
I can't disagree with that.
All right.
I can't disagree with that. Like I said, I had this a little closer than you did.
Yeah, that's okay.
We'll give it to Punk. Punk's the winner.
CM Punk.
But, you know,
that
again,
hurt, by the way. I absolutely have come. Can we just tell the quick story real fast for some of the fans that are a little newer to us? We grew up during this era. Bob Backlund, we rooted against every month throughout junior high and high school. He took up the entire run of our time in school. He was champion the whole time.
Right.
Every month we went and we rooted against him. I have grown to love Bob Backlund over the years, to love going back and watching his matches. And now I'll even find myself rooting for him against certain guys. I'll be like, go Bob. Go Bob.
Funny enough.
I mean, come to think of it, I did root for Bob against guys like Killer Khan anyway, you know, back in the day, or Angelo Mosca. I certainly wasn't rooting for Angelo Mosca, so I guess I did root for Bob some of the time. Maybe I didn't tell you.
How did you think CM Punk's return, how do you think he wrestled? Do you think he wrestled really great? Do you think he wrestled okay?
He didn't wrestle really great. I'm not going to go over it, but he was solid.
He was serviceable, right? He was serviceable, good
solid,
match, right?
And you can see that he's going to get better.
Smart move putting him against Darby.
Oh, he looked like a monster compared to
Not
Darby.
just that. Darby was able to do things that...
Darby worked with him.
He helped him really shine.
They worked well together, by the way. I thought they
All right, we're almost out of time. I want to tell the fans out there, again, starting next week is a huge week for the show, and we're hoping you're all going to join us. Yeah. On September 16th at 9 p.m., we've got Gary Michael Capetta.
Nice.
Gary right now is currently ranked as the 8th greatest ring announcer in pro wrestling history.
Can I get angry? I want to see this list because I'd like to know who's been more well-rounded than Gary Michael.
I will tell you Howard Finkel was number 1.
Okay, I can live with that. I can live with the Fink, you know. And don't tell me that Michael Buffer guy. I don't want to hear it. He's not a wrestling announcer.
I will tell you this. The WWE announcer, Greg Hamilton.
Yeah, he's good.
That guy really makes every match feel big.
Yeah, he's really good.
When did that guy start? And I don't know. All of a sudden, I just started wrecking. I'm like, whoa, this guy's fucking good.
He's really good.
The way he announces.
And I'm
oh
shocked
my God.
that it's not some chick in a dress.
Right.
Because, quite honestly, I mean, Lillian, thumbs up. Lillian was great.
She was.
But then I started to wonder about half of them that were in the ring after her. I was like, what are we? We're just going to try to get another Lillian out there? Good luck. Lillian was special.
Yeah, I agree.
You know? Pick the ring announcer because they're great. That's how they should be freaking
And Gary
judged.
Mike, listen, so if people, what
Capetta's
can
the
you
most
expect with
well-rounded.
Gary Michael Capetta? We've known Gary for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Gary's
From the
been at our
beginning.
event from the
Yeah,
beginning.
from the
He's the first
beginning.
one to kind of got the show off the ground
he
for
was
us.
one of the first guys.
I will tell you this. It will
Great
be
guy.
a fascinating conversation because I can tell you that Gary and myself do not agree on a lot of things when it comes to wrestling.
Okay.
By the way, Phil, you're right. Joe McHugh, I think he is on the list.
Joe McHugh.
DJ, we're looking forward to Gary also.
Joe McHugh was awesome.
We're also going to talk some politics with Gary.
We are?
As we always do.
Oh,
Talk a
God.
little religion. You know how that goes on.
What? Oh, God, I bet you Gary can't wait.
On
Go
September 17th, that's that Friday, starting at 10 a.m. This is a great one. We've got DC Drake and Damian Kane in studio.
Nice. Very good.
And then followed by Abdullah the Butcher.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm still like, why?
And finishing up
I'm scared.
with Hall of Famer
This
Rob Van Dam.
it's just too good. It's too good.
And then October 1st, we've got ECW legend Sabu in studio.
I'm almost speechless over that one. I will be amazed to see him walk through these doors. Or will he come in on the carpet?
I don't know.
Maybe he'll
We're
float
going to
in
find
on
out.
the carpet. That would be kind of cool.
And then Mega Powers 2.0 will also be in. That's Randy Hogan and Macho Man.
Nice.
Don't know if
That's
Randy's going to make it, guys. Randy had back surgery, and he is suffering. So our prayers are out to Mr. Randy Hogan, who is a good friend of the show. We're always thinking about him, but we're hoping he makes it. We haven't seen him live in a long time, and we'd love to have a few drinks with
I
him
hope
for
he's
sure.
okay.
We also want to make a special announcement. On September 21st is the inaugural edition of a weekly show called Tuesdays with Tony Atlas. We've all known the problems Tony has had with some other podcasts, and we've had our back and forth.
Okay.
And Tony feels that he wants to be able to share his thoughts. And this is going to be different, guys. I want you to understand something. Monty Nefaro will not be interviewing Tony Atlas.
Right.
Tony, DJ, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Tony will be one on thousands with the guys out there and answering questions and telling stories. So I don't want anybody to be surprised here.
Tony show.
Tony, the first one, we're going to do a canned video, meaning he's going to tape an hour where he's just going to talk about his life, things
What's
like
the
that.
second one? Bottled?
The second one is Tony then is going to go on live.
Okay.
Tony wants to just get his act together. He wants to impress everybody out there, so he wants to make sure he does a good job.
I'm sure
But
he will.
here's the one important thing I want everybody to understand. Tony wants to be able to answer everybody's questions. So if you didn't believe in something or you didn't whatever,
Ask
you
him.
could ask Tony straight up.
Ask him.
And, we're honored to have Mr. Atlas
You know
on this station for sure.
You know it.
November 20th, the return, because we had Mr. Flight Baby Dolls in studio along with Ranger Ross. Farrell, Ranger Ross?
Does the Sheik know he's coming?
I think he does.
Because the Sheik lost to him.
That's a good memory.
You
Good
gotta-
job.
You got to watch it there.
That's a good job. So that's exciting. 2 NWA stars coming in studio.
Yep.
And let's see what else we got. I just want everybody-
more NWA stars. Less WWF, Monty.
I'm excited for Baby Doll. I got to tell you right now.
Okay.
All right, I want to thank everybody for joining us. It's always our honor to have you in studio. You've been watching Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty Nefaro. Catch us on the Monty Nefaro YouTube page, the Monty Nefaro Facebook Live page. Hear us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Twitch TV, Monty Nefaro page. And if you live in New York, you get the consolidated version of Monty Nefaro on channel 115 every Tuesday from 7 to 7:30, soon to start at 9:30, I think. And for early risers, channel 115, 6 a.m. to 6:30. And for channel 20 for the late guys, 2 a.m. to 2:30.
Nice.
Pharaoh, any parting words?
Oh, just that it's been another great week for pro wrestling, and whatever side you choose, why don't you think like the Pharaoh does? I choose wrestling. We all win with this. We got two great companies now going head-to-head and giving us something to talk about, giving us exciting matches every week. You really couldn't ask for much more, folks. And that's my take on that.
Can't follow it up with anything else. This has been Mike Monty.
This has been the Pharaoh. Thank you for, once again, allowing us into your homes. And until next time, later.